Hi, boys and girls. It has been 7 days since I planted my seed in the straw. And so I've been making observations each day, and you should also be making observations each day with your seed in the straw. So let's look and see what it looks like. One observation I noticed is the water level has gone down. So I'm going to need to add some more water. So it looks like my setup is working. The water is kind of being sucked up by the paper towel and used by my seed. So I'm going to take this out and see if we can get really close. Awesome. You can see, here's my wheat seed, and we've got a little bit of a sprout up there. And now look down here. Look at those roots. Isn't that awesome? I noticed some of the roots the day before yesterday, and so I noted that in my observation. Another thing I could do is maybe measure how tall my sprout is and how long my roots. But this is pretty good evidence that yes, seeds do not need soil to grow. Some of you are probably wondering, well, isn't the paper towel soil? It's not. It's just a wick for the water so that my seed can get the water it needs. And so this kind of goes with our third criteria that seeds do not need soil to grow. Plants only need three things. They need water, they need carbon dioxide, which we haven't really talked about, and they need sunlight. They don't need soil, they don't need fertilizer. Those things help them be healthier. They don't have to have those things to grow and live. Okay, so we're going to add some notes into our journal about photosynthesis, how seeds, plants, producers get the things they need to grow and thrive. So go ahead and grab your journal. Let's add some notes. Okay, so here is my observation log, and I wrote no change for the first 3 days. I did notice on day 4, the water level started to change. I did not make an observation on day 5 because I was at home. Yesterday I noticed some small roots, and today I noticed a sprout. I'm going to add more water, and there's some roots. And I can keep making my observations for as long as I want to. Okay, let's talk about photosynthesis. So I'm going to go to the next blank page in my journal. Remember, if I go too fast, just push pause and add it into your notes. So let's go ahead and give it a title. The title is going to be photosynthesis. At least I can get my camera working. There we go. This is basically the process that plants go through, producers, to make their own food. So we've already talked about that plants need to make their own food, and that consumers have to eat something to get their energy. But producers and plants, they make their own food. Okay? So we're just going to draw kind of some picture notes to go along with this. So I'm going to just start with some ground. Here's the ground. And if you want to use colored pencils, that would be awesome. So there's my ground. And I'm going to draw my producer or a plant. Remember, plants are producers. Here's my beautiful flower. I know, I'm such a good artist. That should be my second career. And my plant has roots. I'm going to kind of make those a little bit darker. Okay, so there's my producer. So my producer needs 3 things. Okay, my producer needs the sun or light. So here's my sun. Remember, we did the experiment in the black bag, and we saw that our plant, it did grow, but it was using the nutrients from its seed to kind of grow. And then at a certain point, it wasn't going to grow anymore. It would die because it did not have sunlight, okay? Or some sort of artificial light that kind of gives the sun the same. So in the red arrows, we're going to put what the plants need, and they also release things back into the environment that we might use. And that's part of photosynthesis. They take in things and they release. So one of the things they need to grow is energy from the sun. Okay? So we need, right, red arrow, energy, from the sun. Okay? That's what kind of makes the process of photosynthesis, the chemical reaction, go. We need that energy to make it go. Plants also need carbon dioxide. Okay, so they also take in carbon dioxide, or CO2. That's how we write carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide from air, for the most part. Okay, there's some plants that maybe get their carbon dioxide from a different source. And the last thing our plants need is water. And that's actually where the soil comes into play. Soil holds the water for our plants. So that's why we often see plants planted in the soil, because that's what holds the water, just like our wick. But plants don't need to be in soil. We've seen lots of plants, lily pads, right? They grow without soil. Okay, so hydroponics, algae. Algae's not growing, it's a producer. It grows on the top. It doesn't need soil, right? It's floating in the water, so it doesn't need something to hold its water and its roots for it. Okay, so our plants have to have sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water to go through photosynthesis. Right? We have to have those three things. In that process, though, they also release a couple things, or they make something. One thing they do is they make sugar. And that's what the plants use for energy. They use the carbohydrates, the sugars they make. Okay, so plants make sugars. Okay, so that's their energy, their food, so that they can grow. Okay, so they take in sun, carbon dioxide, and water. They go through a chemical reaction called photosynthesis, and they make sugar, and they also release oxygen, which we need oxygen to breathe. And we breathe out carbon dioxide for the plant. So it's important we kind of work together. Okay, so there's 5 things that I want you to know about photosynthesis. Plants need energy from the sun, carbon dioxide, and water to go through photosynthesis. Then they release or make sugar and oxygen. So those are the 5 things that you should know, the things they need and what they release. This is how plants get their energy to grow and thrive. You are not a producer, so you do not go through photosynthesis. You are a consumer. You have to eat things, consume things to get your energy to grow and live. Plants don't need to do that. Producers don't need to do that. All right, I'm excited. I would love to see pictures of your wheat seeds, if you would love to add that, just so I can see what they look like. If yours isn't growing, maybe after a week, maybe try another seed and repeat it 2 more times.